The intermediate equitation class is a class you take after beginning equitation to improve your riding abilities and skills. Every class starts the same way. You first groom your horse, starting with brushing. First with the hard brush, followed by the soft brush. You do this to be sure there is no debris that can get stuck under the saddle and irritate your horse. You should make sure to brush under their bellies and their legs as well. The next step is to pick their hooves. You do this using a hoof pick. This gets rid of anything stuck in their hooves to make sure nothing is causing them pain, like a rock. And you should do this with all 4 hooves and then put on their boots. The next step is to put on their saddle pad. This serves as a layer of protection between the horse and the saddle. Always make sure that there isn't anything on the saddle pad that can poke or irritate the horse. After the saddle pad comes the saddle. You should gently put it on the horse's back. You will then check your girth and make sure that it fits properly. If it does, you're ready to tighten your cinch. On this day, I rode Trinity. This is the first recording I took for this class, but it was not the first day of class. When I started this class, it had been over a year since I had ridden a horse, so I was still trying to refresh my memory on everything. For the first 2 weeks or so, I struggled with the horses not listening to me, but as the class went on, I significantly improved. During this class, I focused mostly on side passing and backing. I failed to give good direction, so I struggled to get Trinity to listen. Here, I am asking her to side pass, and she doesn't. I ask her again, and instead she walks forward. So, I asked her to back up. She doesn't. Back up. And she finally does. I asked her to side pass, and she does it perfectly. I ask again, and she walks away. As you can see, I was having a really hard time getting her to listen. Here, I decided to flex her to make sure that she was paying attention. shot, you can see that my stirrups are very uneven, and I should have been able to tell. On this day, I rode Lori. A lot of people do not like to ride Lori. I personally do not have a problem with her. I've actually always liked Lori. She has a nice trot and canter, but she can be a little moody sometimes. After our warm-up, we were allowed to attempt to do the barrel pattern. Lori refused to turn at the first barrel, so I had to turn her back around and come back. I then asked her to walk whenever we got around the other barrels, just in case she refused to turn again. After the last barrel, I asked her to canter back. Remember when I mentioned Lori being moody? In this clip, she kicks hops and caused Trinity to freak out. This is a short clip of me riding Marty. This day was the start of me being much better at sitting the canter. I loved riding Marty because her canter is so smooth. last day was my first time riding Hops. It was also the last day of class. I have to admit, I was a little scared to ride him. First reason is because he's the largest horse there and I'm only 5'1". The second reason is because he is the first thoroughbred I've ever ridden. After our warm-up, we did an obstacle course. The first run didn't go too well.
Oh, pull back, pull back.
It may not have been the best performance, I finished the course, and this is the end of the class.